Hey, it's Soup here, and welcome to my Mythic Lihuvim boss guide. This video will only be covering the Mythic specific mechanics and strats, and if you'd like to be notified when I release more Mythic boss guides, make sure to subscribe. Alright, let's get into it. The Mythic version of this fight changes it quite a bit from Heroic. There is one additional mechanic called Alignment Shift, as well as a new ability given to each of the 4 Autonoma ads. Starting with Alignment Shift, this causes the boss to apply either harmonic or melodic alignment to everyone in the raid. Melodic alignment causes you to be pulled towards the boss during Cosmic Shift, and harmonic causes you to be pushed away. Shortly after the boss casts Cosmic Shift, a resonance cascade will trigger. This causes everyone to deal damage within 4 yards, but more importantly, it will kill everyone within 4 yards with dissonance cascade if there isn't both a melodic and harmonic alignment target hit. The way my raid dealt with this mechanic was using a weak aura and method raid tools to split the raid into 5 groups, assigning 1 person per group as the anchor. When Cosmic Shift went off, we stacked around the boss in the formation you see here. An alignment shift triggers after every resonance cascade, switching melodic to harmonic and vice versa. An important aspect of this mechanic is that you may have to swap group assignments depending on how the first alignment debuffs get assigned. If everyone in a group is the same alignment, it will kill that group, so be ready to make that adjustment on pull. Next up is the Mythic strat change for unstable motes. The motes themselves haven't changed, but with the length of the fight and the addition of terminal motes from the Degeneration Autonomas, there are a lot more motes to deal with, so managing the space in the room becomes critical. I'll get into detail about the Intermission Autonomas in a bit. The way my raid handled the unstable motes from the boss was to have 2 groups of 7 drop their motes in the formations you see here, and have 4 ranged DPS drop their motes at the edge of the room. The reason for having 7 per group is because that is the Deconstructing Blast target cap. We then had the tank Deconstructing Blast assigned to the boss's right and the other to the left. When aiming the Deconstructing Blast, it's important to be aware that the circle is a little misleading and that it will hit all 7 motes even if the circle barely touches the mote. So long as the motes are dropped in the correct formation, it's not too difficult to line up. And finally, let's go over how the intermissions look. Each Autonoma gets a new mythic ability. The Degeneration Autonomas gain Terminal Mote, which casts an unstable mote on a random player when they die. Acquisitions Autonomas gain Reoriginate, which makes them res after 30 seconds of being dead. Guardian Autonoma Sentries now last indefinitely. And the Defense Matrix Autonoma casts a large ephemeral barrier zone that lasts for 10 seconds when killed. Due to Acquisition Autonomas rezzing, they are crowd controlled for the entire fight after they spawn, and my raid tries to kite them on top of each other to allow the druids to mass root. For the first intermission, the raid is split into 2 groups to kill the 2 Guardian Autonomas. Since this is the only intermission where the raid will be split up, it's important that DPS hold their major cooldowns on pull because the DPS check is very tight here. After the 2 Guardians die, you will CC the acquisitions and kill the Defense Matrix away from the boss to drop the barrier. For the second intermission, we killed the Guardian in this bay and then took a lock gate and stacked under the boss to get the 2 degeneration waves as grouped as possible. There isn't a good way to avoid the ephemeral barrier from the Defense Matrix, so just cleave off the Defense Matrix and AoE everything down. Make sure to use AoE CC to interrupt the degenerate channels and be ready to run out and drop motes as far away as possible as they die. For the third intermission, we killed the Defense Matrix in this bay and then took the lock gate to the middle for the degenerations. This intermission spawns 2 acquisitions from these bays, so be ready to CC them. And then for the final intermission, we killed the degeneration in this bay and then took the lock gate to the center and CC the final acquisition and cleave down the guardians on top of the boss. So you want to drop motes in the correct formation, pay attention to whether you are getting pushed or pulled by Cosmic Shift to avoid hitting motes, quickly stack with your assigned group for Resonance Cascade, keep Acquisition Autonomous CC'd the entire fight, and hold major DPS cooldowns on pull to ensure the first 2 intermission ads die. You can find my kill video in the upper right. Let me know in the comments if you found this helpful, and as always, never stop improving. Peace!